Okay, everybody, check it out. I've got my Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme shirt on today. I'm such a nerd. I love Star Wars and I love Marvel. I just love things that are fantastic and intergalactic, I guess you could say, and magical. I love all magical things. All right, so today we're talking about level 3 and what about level 3? So you might be a little afraid of level 3 coming into this because you already know that level 3 is very physical. You know, the exercise and the disciplines are very physical, but you don't understand that this is a highly achievable level. The yogic arts, to me, is about strength. Okay, lazy monkey yoga, level 1 is all about relaxation, movement, okay, opening up the energy channels, preparing the body for meditation, right, or even energy work. Level 2 is much more what you would consider to be, you know, your regular vinyasa yoga class, which is what most people are interested in. It's what most people are looking for, especially studios if you're going to go teach that kind of stuff. But level 3 is kind of like my baby because you're going to be learning conditioning exercises that are going to help people in so many different ways. It's starting with all kinds of shoulder movement, okay? A lot of pressing and pushing actions, okay? Because there's a lot of planking, push-ups, shoulder shrugs, and preparation for forearm balances and hand balances. You don't have to do any of this stuff. You don't have to, I'm telling you now, you do not have to be able to do a handstand or a headstand or an arm balance in order to teach yoga. You never have to teach that stuff. But I want you to learn how to teach that stuff, and I want you to try, and I want you to not be afraid, okay? There's all kinds of things you can do. Get your husband or your children to spot you at home doing some of these exercises, or if you feel strong, put a pillow under yourself. If you're afraid of falling over in some kind of exercise, doesn't matter. There's there's probably over 1,000 different movements. I say movements because it's not just exercise like doing a push-up. There is like probably over 1,000 individual movements that you can do in this level. And you're gonna see that I have a parkour conditioning lesson that contains in of itself over 600 exercises. I'm a big fan of parkour conditioning. You don't have to be a teenage boy, you know, to practice parkour conditioning. It's very easy exercises, stability exercises for the core. So think about things like this. We're thinking about arms and upper body and shoulders as far as pressing, arms, upper body, and shoulders as far as pulling, which is something that you don't get in yoga. Pull-ups and pulling exercises that pull the body up is something that nobody gets in yoga. And unless you had a gym or if you have a yoga studio, you would have to buy bars. You would have to buy portable bars for people to actually do the pull-up exercises, pull-up crunches, stuff like that, okay? So we're gonna leave it at that. Then there are core exercises for the abdomen. There are back exercises to strengthen the back. There are leg exercises to strengthen the legs. We do a lot of squatting in the lazy monkey yogic arts, lots of squats. That's another reason why it's difficult. We don't usually do that with pregnant people. We don't do that with seniors. You have to be To be able to take a Lazy Monkey Yogic Arts class, you don't necessarily have to be in shape, but you can't be suffering from any kind of serious health concerns. People would have to build up the strength to be able to go into a yogic arts class. So we're going to be focusing on Far East Asian religion and philosophy. And the reason why this is what this is all about, how I arrived here on my spiritual journey, is I was initiated or attuned to Reiki, okay, the Usui Reiki system almost 20 years ago. And I've been using and channeling the Reiki energy for my own health and for others for 20 years. But one thing that people, including my master, and this is nothing against him, did not teach me or even know about himself is where the true origins of Reiki come from. And the true origins and inspiration from where Reiki comes from is from esoteric medieval Buddhism or tantric Buddhism that comes from, tantric Buddhism comes from India, went into the Himalayas, traveled through China, Korea, and also eventually into Japan. So tantric Buddhism or esoteric Buddhism made it into Japan, and there are two major sects or groups that are recognized as esoteric Buddhist schools. One is the Shingon sect, and the other one is the Tendai sect. Master Usui was a Tendai lay Buddhist priest. So in the Tendai tradition, you can be a priest and also be a householder and have a wife, children, and not be monastic. So the Tendai tradition doesn't necessarily require people to renunciate the world. It's to a lot of people, it's not practical to be a complete renunciate of everything. You know, people don't have the ability to do that. So the Tendai Buddhist and the Shingon Buddhist sect are the two very important schools that Master Usui was very, very aware of. And from these two traditions of tantric and esoteric Buddhism, I believe, and it's the belief of the other people who have practiced this, studied this, and done serious history and research into his life, that's where the foundations of these practices come from. So a lot of people think Reiki is like some kind of new age thing. It's not. It's not. The foundation of it is tantric Buddhism. So what you're going to learn about is you're going to learn about Japan, but you're going to also learn about Buddhism as it developed in India, Buddhism as it traveled into Tibet, Buddhism as it traveled into China, and Buddhism as it traveled into Japan. So first you're going to learn about the indigenous religion of the people of Japan, which is called Shinto, or Shin Dao is what it said. It's called in Chinese, Shin meaning spirit and Dao means way, or Shinto, the spirit way, or the way of the spirits. Okay, it's an indigenous religion. It's primarily animistic. And the Shinto religion has been practiced for a very, 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 very long time in Japan. For at least, I don't know, it could be the past 6,000 years, 6 to 10,000 years. Then we have an introduction to Buddhism, the three major vehicles of Buddhism, which is Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana Buddhism. Then we have the Lotus Sutras. We're going to be getting into understanding the Lotus Sutras, and the reason why is because the Lotus Sutras are a crucially vital and important foundational text for Tendai Buddhism, which is where we are, okay? So that's where I'm at, okay? The Lotus Sutra is one of the most important sutras to have been written within the Buddhist sutra canon. And so you are going to understand it. You're going to understand it by the time that we're done. Reiki as a spiritual path. Talking about the shamanic journey, again in trance mediumship, lucid dreaming, and dream yoga, which will pretty much blow your mind. And then we get into all of the calisthenics and things. We're going to talk about knowing our place and our scope of practice and dealing with difficult students. We're going to talk about health and longevity. We're going to talk about fasting. Don't be afraid. Fermentation and herbal preparations. So like I said before, I think in level 2, by the time you finish this level, you will have a complete education in the lazy monkey yoga style. Level 1 was all about breathing, feeling, listening to the body, learning very basic, easy qigong movements, flowing movement and floor-based work that most anybody can achieve. Level 2, you learned about sun salutations and how to structure a traditional vinyasa yoga, hatha yoga class. You learned about Hinduism and you learned about the philosophy of ancient India. And now we are moving into all of this stuff. And the inspiration for the yogic, the lazy monkey yogic arts is not only yoga, but it's also yoga and martial arts. And I'm adding to that parkour, free running, or free movement conditioning. My teacher, Master Adam, at the International Yoga Institute in Virginia Beach, when I was studying under him, he was a martial artist. And so a lot of his classes were like mixed yoga and martial arts together. It was the first time I've ever taken anything like that, and there's only a handful of people in this world studying under this man who learned those kinds of practices and have incorporated them into their own yoga practice. So you are going to get a real treat. And I think I need to add a level, which is, let's see. We have a warm-up exercises, we have shoulders, we have core strengthening, back and butt work, hand balancing, handstands, headstands, pose breakdown for the animal form, which is pretending to be animals, and then structuring a lazy monkey yoga class. That's important because, as you know now, I pretty much break down 1-hour classes into 4 15-minute long sessions. Or if I have a 75-minute long class, I will do 5 15-minute long sessions with maybe like a break for water one time. And you have plenty of material. You have so much material. You've got so much material to structure your own classes. It's beautiful, it's brilliant. And remember, if there's someone who wants to train in the yogic arts that is not, let's say, healthy enough, right, to be able to join a class where people are going to be actively or vigorously, I would say anybody who wants to try the class, who feels that they're in shape or enough to be able to try to do the class, I would tell them to try. And anything that they can't do, they don't have to do it. Nobody has to do anything in any of my classes if they don't want to. If people want to sit around and sleep on their yoga mat, they can. Like, there's absolutely no requirements for achieving any of this stuff in any lazy monkey. That's why it's called lazy monkey. It's called lazy monkey yoga for a reason. Because if you want to be lazy but you still want to be in yoga class, that's absolutely fine. We want to encourage people to be in class, not sitting at home. So open this class up to people and they can try it. Watch them, pay attention to what they're doing. Ask them, how do you feel? Don't get them too overheated. We want to train, but we want to train smarter, not harder. We want to achieve our goals in life in the smart way, not the hard way. We're not CrossFit. We're not trying to kill people by making them push tractor trailer tires across the room, or climb a rope, you know, a 18 to 20 foot rope to try to touch the ceiling. That's not who we are. We can be that. I can do that. But it's not what Lazy Monkey is about. Lazy Monkey yoga is about understanding your body and feeling good and feeling healthy and well. It's not about all that other stuff. So don't be afraid. You're gonna be just fine. You're not gonna die. You're gonna be cautious and careful and take your time, just like you have in every other level. And we're going to move forward with all of this fantastic material, okay? Here we go.